Hello, and welcome to the colon hydrotherapy room. So this is the closed room, and most people are very nervous their very first appointment. So we wanted to do a little video to help you feel a little bit more comfortable about the procedure and what to expect. So when you first walk into the colon hydrotherapy room, you'll see a gown here, and you'll see what looks like a massage table and a machine on the wall. So typically the staff member will ask you to unrobe and to get into the gown. So you'll want to put the gown on and leave the opening in the back. You'll actually want to climb up on the bed and lay down on the bed, and you'll lay down with your back on the wedge and your knees bent. The therapist will come in the room, and your very first appointment, she will go over your intake form and your digestive health and health history. This is essential so she can assist you in having a very good experience with your colon hydrotherapy session. Of course, she will want to know all about your digestive health, and so it's important that you make sure you list all your medications and anything that's going on with your digestive health. Most of the time, clients are concerned about the insertion. It's not painful. We do use a disposable sterile speculum, so there is no cross-contamination. However, people are most afraid about this speculum insertion. And of course, if you've never had a colon hydrotherapy session, it is a little bit scary and intimidated your very first time. However, it's not painful, and the therapist will guide you through it. The speculum is about an inch round. And it will be lubricated, and you will insert it about 2 inches into your rectum. You will be laying on your side facing the wall. So you will be laying on your left-hand side. It will be lubricated. And in California, we ask that you insert it. There's a couple reasons why. It is a law. And so here at Refresh Your Soul, we follow all laws because we want to keep our certifications. So we ask for your right hand. We'll put your middle finger in here, and kind of your hand falls around that. So what happens is the therapist will put her hand right behind yours, just to kind of guide you in. But at that point, you will insert it about 2 inches. So if you see that this is like the end or your anus, the only point of tension is really your sphincter. So what will happen is you'll insert it. You'll feel a little pressure right at the sphincter, but interesting enough, the speculum will then slip right in. And at that point, the therapist will ask you to release your hand, and will then attach the end of this hose to the end of the speculum and then to the machine. So at that point, you will then see the colon hydrotherapy system. So this is the Detola. It has 4 filters. It is a medical device. It has purified water and a UV filter. It is FDA approved, and it has a temperature of 98 degrees, the temperature of your body, and it infuses water into your colon, and it has several fills and several releases. So when you're laying on the bed, you'll start to feel, as she starts to fill you, or he starts to fill you with water, you'll slowly start to feel water come into your colon. The best way to describe this feeling is you'll start to feel the urgency to have a bowel movement or go poop. So you want to take in as much water as you can until you feel that urgency. You will then tell the therapist, this is a fill and release machine, by the way, that you feel full. The therapist at that point is also watching the PSI and may release it earlier, but typically will then release the water and then draw down the feces. That gravity will draw the feces out of the colon. This is repeated several times over again. This will determine how much water goes in the colon. At that time, will determine where we are in the colon. We start to work our way through the colon. So if you have a lot of fecal matter, the fills will be very short. If you don't have a lot of fecal matter, we'll be able to do very long fills, and we will be able to move through the colon very rapidly. Everybody's colon and digestion is very different, and everybody has different nuances that go within the colon. But typically, it does take a minimum of 3 sessions to get through the colon, typically 3 to 4 sessions. As you can see over here, you can see the 3 sides of the colon, and then the little rectum area and the sigmoid. So that's why I'm saying about 4. So this typically is our first session right here, is the rectum area. And believe it or not, that is the most congested area, because typically people are not having full and complete bowel movements. So then we go up here through the descending colon, over the transverse, and then the ascending colon. We have a whole protocol for doing alternate bowel preps. So the FDA has approved colon hydrotherapy for alternate bowel preps and for constipation. So it is very effective for those things. So as you're doing your colon hydrotherapy session, we will go through several fills and several releases. At any point, if you start to feel some discomfort, you can communicate with the therapist. They have several ways to help ease that comfort. At the time that your therapy session is done, the therapist will ask you to roll back over to the left-hand side, pull out the speculum, and then request you to get on the toilet and to evacuate, or to get on the toilet and allow out the excess fecal matter and water. So you're going to want to give yourself a good 5 minutes on the toilet. I think if you do this really well, you won't have any leakage. One of the most common things is, I don't know, people are just not wanting to spend their time on the toilet. Give yourself 5 minutes. Let the water come. You know, there's pockets and grooves throughout our colon. So give yourself some time on the toilet to let the excess fecal matter and water to come out. At that point in time, at Refresh Your Soul, we ask you that you come out. We go over an exit packet where we go over your digestive health, our recommendations, any dietary recommendations that we have for you, what to eat, and how to move forward with your digestive health. So we look forward to seeing you. And of course, if you have any questions, we'd love for you to reach out for us, and we will be here to support you along your wellness journey.